All right, let's get right into this. And again, for people who are new here, I usually have an idea which consists of one or two words, and everything is done on the spot. So we'll start with this. So the idea that I had here was, or the idea that I wanted to talk about here. By the way, look at this. You see this? Look at all this color, right? Look at all this color. Now, if I move back, like if I put it here, well, this is kind of like, well, the light's kind of reflecting like that, but it can appear black if I kind of put it in a different way. I don't know. Anyways, I'm not an expert on this, but this is how light it gets. Now, obviously, hold on. If I did this, it would look dark again. You know what I mean? Like it goes dark, and then I open it up, and you see the light, and this is how light the color is. Okay, this is not like, I heard a lot of stupid things. People always like to bullshit me, and I wouldn't say anything about it. They'd be like, "Oh, your hair is very dark brown, but it's brown, but it's dark brown." It's like, look, this is my real hair color. You see how light this is? So this is not called blonde, by the way. You know what I mean? Because blonde is a very specific color, actually. And I know there's different words for different shades, but this is not considered blonde. This was one of the marks of the old Latin people, like of the old age, like around when Hernan Cortez was born in Spain and everything. This was known as a very, very Latin trait. Okay, if you had hair color like this, and by the way, there are people who have hair color like this. Typically, they're either in Italy or Spain. Typically, people who have hair color like this are in Italy or Spain, and sometimes in Europe. Yeah, of course in Europe, but sometimes in Romania. Okay, sometimes in Romania, people even in Romania they have color like this. In Italy, you can find people with hair color like this. In Spain, you can find people with hair color like this. This was a big, and we're talking about because the Latin race, obviously, being a very old race, and when Europe, especially today in the modern day, you can get your Euro train, and you can go for like not even paying a lot of money. You can literally just travel like 30 countries in Europe, no problem with the Euro train. Okay, you can go anywhere in Europe that you want. You can even drive through Europe. It doesn't matter. People have moved around and everything, and it's hard. Nobody really identifies as Latin in Europe. You know what I mean? People don't say, "Oh, I'm Latin." People will say, "Oh, I am British. Oh, I'm Irish. I'm French. I'm Swedish. I mean, the Scandinavians will say that they're Scandinavian. And people will say they're from the Eastern Bloc. So nobody really says anymore, "Oh, I'm Latin." If you really want to hear somebody say that I'm Latin, you have to go to the smallest little towns on the coast of oceans. Um, the smallest little towns in Romania, in Spain, in Italy, and some of the surrounding area. You got to go to these small towns. And when you ask somebody, "Oh, so are you," and you can ask me, "So are you Spanish? Are you Italian? Are you Romanian?" They will say, "No, I'm Latin." This hair color, as you're seeing it right here, this is not blonde. But when you look at it, you go, "Do you think it's darker than blonde?" I wouldn't say it's darker than blonde, but it's not blonde. So it's in the same color line, but it's a different style of color. And this was the old Latin people. You see, today you have blonde people you have blonde people all over Europe. There are blonde haired, blue eyes people all over Europe, and blonde hair was a specifically Nordic trait. Okay, so blonde hair is originating from the Nordic countries, which is way up in the north. Sweden, Finland, Norway. By the way, guess where Santa Claus was derived from? Santa Claus was a god. Okay, Santa Claus was an evil god from the Nordic countries. Now, back in the day, they may have just been one country, more or less. But the legend of Santa Claus comes from a god. It's not, Santa Claus had nothing to do with Jesus. Santa Claus was actually a god in the Nordic land. And when winter came, that was his time. Like that was the time that he reigned on the cities. Okay, he was if you see what his original statue looked like, he looks the same, except he looks really evil and very scary. He's a big fat guy with a big beard and long hair, and he looks very scary, okay? He is not child friendly, jumping through your chimney to give your kids gifts and presents, okay? He was a big scary man. But the point is that this blonde hair, and everybody knows this, that blonde hair originated from Nordic lands like Sweden. Okay, if you go to Sweden today, Sweden has the highest population of blonde people in the whole world. If you go to Sweden, Sweden has the highest ratio, the highest number of blonde people. Okay, that was a Nordic trait. This is a Latin trait. You know what I mean? I don't have to say anything. If I show this to people, even if I go to Europe and those towns, they will 100% say to me, you look Latin. Okay. Now, when it comes to features, if I was to go to Romania, I'm not saying they would understand it everywhere, but if I went to Transylvania 100%, if I went there, people would be smiling. They would say nothing and they would smile. Okay, and the smile would be, and they wouldn't even look at me as they smile, and the smile would be that, oh my God, this is amazing. We have a vampire, an actual vampire, a Latin vampire coming to Transylvania. Why is he coming to Transylvania? He must want to see what his people look like, or he must want to see where he originated from. He must want to see the land of his ancestors. Okay, I'll show you. For people who are new, I'll show you my vampire teeth. Look at this. All right? And look at this side. All right? You see how the tooth fits in perfectly with the bottom tooth? You see how they collide perfectly? You see how they just settle in perfectly and come back up? You see how when you look at it closely, it's not a fake tooth. It hasn't been molded. It hasn't been, I haven't had a fake tooth put in. That's a real tooth. And I show people in real life. I go, come here, look at it closely and tell me if it's fake. Look at it and tell me if it's fake. These are real vampire teeth. I've had them since I was a kid. Do you know I've never worn braces in my life? I've never had teeth implanted. I've never shaped my teeth. I've never done any of that. I have not shaped my teeth. I have not, we're talking about, and look, when I was old enough that I lost my teeth, like when my teeth fell out, I think I was 6 to 9 years old when my teeth fell out and I got new teeth. And I know, because when you're younger, it's hard to figure out, well, what was my story really and how old was I, blah, blah, blah. But when you're 6 years old, I have full memories of when I was 6 years old. So I know that from when I was 6 years old that I had, my teeth had fallen out and started falling out and new teeth came in. Now, when I was a baby, did I have vampire teeth? Now that I don't remember, because I don't remember being a baby. But I can say that since I got memory as a child, I've had these vampire teeth. They fit in perfectly to the bottom and they are 100% vampire. Okay, doesn't mean I drink blood or anything. But, that is not what I'm trying to say. But the teeth themselves, I show people. Come close. Because people know when, people can tell when you've had plastic surgery. Okay, if you do plastic surgery on your eyes, doesn't matter how good the surgeon was. People will come close, look at it, and they can tell. Okay, not everybody, but there are people that can tell. I tell people, look at my vampire teeth. Tell me if it's fake, man. No, we know it's not fake. Dude, no. I don't want you to doubt yourself later. Look at them closely. Are they fake? No, they're not fake. Okay, this is 100% Latin, and these are vampire teeth that I've shown. Okay, I don't need any more proof than that. Okay, now when the sun shines at the right, you see it's coming at the right, when the sun shines at the right angle, even on my head, all the hair turns to this color. All the hair turns to this color. Now, there is a bit of a misconception. What happens is that something, under a certain amount of light, it can be a low amount of light or something, the hair will look red, but it's not red. The hair kind of changes color. They'll look red and, at the same time, but this is the actual color. Now that we got past that, the idea that I had was basically, a higher level, and I've been talking about that when you're playing or whatever you're doing, when you're doing it at a high level, and I wanted to talk about that. And I thought, truth is, I got 9 minutes out of this video already, but I can talk a little bit. I had nothing planned, but I can talk a little bit about it. Like I said, to me, I stopped doing this a long time ago. A long time ago, I decided that, I wasn't going to try to force anything. I was going to try to let things happen how things happen. I was going to try to just, just be natural and let what is natural be what's natural. So if I'm bad at something, I want to be bad at something. If I'm good at something, I want to be good at something. But I don't want to change my natural self or my natural course. And I want to let myself be what I am and be genuine. right? How does that play in a performance? Well, I'll tell you. I mean, as bad as this time has been since robbing that bank, I've actually gotten more. I've actually got more discipline, and it's crazy. Like I don't get lazy to do stuff. If I need to do something, and even if it's like the smallest task, I don't get lazy to do it. You know what I mean? I'm not lazy to do stuff. I do stuff, and there's no laziness. Oh, I don't feel. When I was a kid, oh, I don't feel like doing homework. Oh, I don't feel like doing this and that. No, I do things, and I don't have that, and I like that about myself. I think that's a good thing. I guess you would call it discipline. Whenever, even if you're playing something or whatever you're doing, if you take it seriously, you take it to a very serious level, and it's very important that things are done at that level, right, and at that standard, and I think that's very important, and you got to understand that when you socialize, because and this is very easy. Look, I could be really good at one sport, somebody could be very good at another sport, right? That doesn't really matter. But the thing is, when we socialize in general, with people in general, with the general population, when you socialize, the thing is that it's a very light situation because everybody's doing everything differently, meaning that, it's not really a performance or competitive situation. When you're out there generally with people, everything is kept light and whatnot. You know what I mean? Everything is kept kind of like that. And we behave like adults. We don't behave like little kids, or we don't behave like sissies. We behave like adults. You know what I mean? So that there was one more thing I was trying to say, and I'm gonna see if I can get it back. But yeah, but obviously when you're put into that competitive game that you're at, let's say you went to let's say you were very good, you went to a paid league, a professional league. You'll know, and that's not for me or anything, but I'm just saying that when you're in there, everybody's competing and everybody's a specialist at one type of thing. So in those situations, people compete in academics. You take a university course, a specialty course. People are competing with each other, even if it's academically, right? And when people are just socializing, it's just to keep it light and people have a good time, and that's more or less what it is. Anyways, I'm done with this, and we'll end it right here.